You're chaos. My sister Serafina hissed, her eyes like chips of ice under the ballroom chandelier. My mother agreed, calling me a disappointment just for showing up. I'm Elara Vance, 28, and the designated failure of a family that measures worth in dollar signs. They thought my return to their estate was the end of my story, a quiet surrender. They never imagined I would find our grandmother's final secret, a truth so powerful it could burn their perfect, hollow world to the ground. They wanted me to be silent, but they forgot who built the foundation. Before I share the rest of my story, let me know where you're watching from in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe button, because if your family has ever made you feel small, trust me, you're going to want to hear what happens next. The fog clings to my windshield like a ghost, smearing the world into a gray haze as I grip the steering wheel of my battered sedan. Blackwood Harbor, Massachusetts, hasn't changed. Still cold, still suffocating, still home in the way a bruise is familiar. My knuckles are white against the cracked leather, my breath shallow. I haven't been back to the Vance estate in years, not since Boston chewed me up and spit me out. Unemployed, 28, the family failure. The iron gates loom ahead, rusted but proud, guarding the house that always made me feel like I didn't belong. Home. The word tastes like ash in my mouth. I ease the car down the gravel drive, tires crunching like bones. The estate emerges through the mist, all salt-weathered stone and ivy strangling the gables, a monument to old New England money. My sister Serafina's Tesla gleams in the courtyard, a smug little beacon of her success. Of course she's here. Tonight's her big moment, the launch of Etheria Designs, her architectural education platform that's got venture capitalists tossing millions at her feet. My stomach twists. I'm not here for her. I'm here because I've got nowhere else to go. The foyer smells of polished wood and my mother's lavender perfume, sharp and cloying. Helen Vance, in her tailored silk dress, doesn't look up from her phone. "Elara, you're late," she says, her voice a blade. "The guests are arriving, try not to embarrass us." My father Richard hovers nearby, fussing with his cufflinks. He offers a weak smile, but his eyes slide away, like they always do. He's the peacemaker who never picks a side, least of all mine. The ballroom is a circus of wealth, crystal chandeliers glinting, champagne flutes clinking, tech moguls in bespoke suits trading laughs like currency. Serafina holds court at the center, her blonde hair catching the light like a halo, her laugh bright and practiced. At 32, she's a CEO and influencer, a goddess in her emerald gown. I linger by the wall, my thrift store blazer itching, my dark curls frizzing in the coastal humidity. I'm invisible here, just like I was as a kid, the shadow to her star. Then it happens. Serafina's on stage, mid-speech, live streaming to her millions of followers. Her voice is honey, pitching Etheria as the future of design. The lights flicker, a breaker trips. The live stream stutters, and for a heartbeat her perfect mask slips. Her smile tightens, her eyes dart. The crowd murmurs, but she recovers, tossing out a quip about coastal charm. They eat it up, laughing, clapping, blind to the crack in her facade. I see it though. I always see her. Later, she finds me in a quiet corner, her smile gone, her eyes like ice. "You," she hisses, stepping close enough that I smell her perfume, sharp and expensive. "Your negative energy, Elara. Your chaos. You jinxed this." I blink, stunned. It's absurd, but her words slice deep, cutting into wounds I thought had scarred over. Before I can respond, my mother's there, her hand on Serafina's arm, her voice soothing but pointed. "She's right, darling," she says to her, then turns to me. "Can't you just be happy for your sister? Why must you always make things difficult?" My father shuffles over, a drink in his hand, eyes on the floor. "Let's not make a scene," he mutters, like that's all I'm good for. Scenes, messes, disappointment. Their judgment crashes over me, heavy and familiar. I'm the black sheep, the problem, the one who ruins everything. My throat burns, but I don't cry. Not here. I turn and flee, the ballroom's laughter chasing me into the fog. My guest room is a tomb, a time capsule of rejection. Bare walls, a sagging mattress, boxes of my old life shoved in the corner like forgotten relics. It's not a bedroom. It's a storage unit for the Elara they wish I wasn't. I sit on the floor, the party's hum bleeding through the walls, and try to breathe. Serafina's accusation, chaos, loops in my head. My mother's words cut deeper, difficult. I'm not enough. I've never been enough. I unpack to keep my hands busy, to keep my mind from spiraling. I pull out a box labeled Grandma Eleanor, the only person who ever saw me, really saw me. An architect, brilliant but forgotten, she'd sit with me for hours, sketching, her hands steady, her voice warm. She died when I was 16, and the family buried her memory like they're trying to bury mine. I lift out her old fountain pen, sleek and heavy, its silver worn smooth. It feels like her, like a piece of her strength. Curious, I twist the cap, expecting a hit of nostalgia. Instead, the base unscrews, revealing a hidden compartment. My breath catches. Inside is a tightly rolled scrap of paper and a small brass key. The note in Eleanor's elegant script reads, "A foundation must be true. They tried to bury mine. Don't let them bury yours. Trust the plans. EV." The key is ornate, unfamiliar, not for any door in this house. My pulse quickens. This isn't just a keepsake, it's a message, meant for me. I clutch the pen, my mind racing. Eleanor was always cryptic, her thoughts a maze of ideas, but this feels urgent, like she knew I'd need it now. The key is a puzzle, and puzzles were her language. I dig through the box, hoping for answers, but find only her old sketchbooks, filled with designs I used to trace as a kid. The key doesn't fit anything obvious, no jewelry box, no desk drawer. I'm about to give up when I remember the attic, where they shoved her things after she died. If there's an answer, it's there. I slip upstairs, the house creaking under my steps. The attic is a graveyard of dust and shadows, smelling of mildew and time. I push past crates and moth-eaten rugs until I find her architect's flat file cabinet, draped in a faded sheet. My heart pounds as I kneel beside it. The key fits a lock in the base, opening a hidden drawer with a soft click. Inside are blueprints, a handwritten curriculum, pages of her philosophy on design. I run my fingers over her signature, and a chill hits me. These ideas, these words, they're the backbone of Etheria Designs. Serafina's empire is built on my grandmother's work. The attic feels like a tomb now, the air thick with betrayal. I sit cross-legged, surrounded by Eleanor's blueprints, their edges brittle but their vision alive. Her curriculum is meticulous, dated years before Serafina even touched tech. The parallels to Etheria aren't just close, they're identical. Design exercises, philosophies, even specific examples. My sister didn't just borrow an idea, she stole a legacy. My legacy. Anger burns, but doubt creeps in. Serafina's untouchable, a star. I'm the unstable one, the family's cautionary tale. If I accuse her, they'll laugh me out of the room. I need proof, something undeniable. My phone buzzes, a text from Chloe, my old college friend, now a tech journalist in Boston. "Heard you're back home, you okay?" I hesitate, then send her photos of the curriculum, careful to blur Eleanor's name. "Can you look into Etheria's origins? Discreetly?" Her reply is quick. "Whoa, this is wild, I'll dig. Hang in there." For the first time in days, I feel a spark of hope. But the house has ears. I'm tucking the blueprints back when my father appears, a decanter of brandy in hand. "Elara, what are you doing up here?" His voice is too smooth, his eyes darting to the cabinet. Before I can answer, he stumbles, deliberately I realize later, spilling brandy over Eleanor's journals. The ink blurs, her words dissolving. "Oh damn it," he says, his apology polished but hollow. "Clumsy me." I want to scream, but I choke it down, salvaging what I can. The damage is done. Key dates, her creative process, gone. My evidence is crumbling, and so is my resolve. I'm alone in this, a speck against Serafina's empire, and the weight of it presses me into the attic floor. Back in my room, I curl up on the sagging mattress, Eleanor's fountain pen cold in my palm. Chloe's latest email stings like a slap. "It's a stretch, Elara. Serafina's team is airtight. Are you sure this isn't personal?" Her words echo my family's narrative. I'm irrational, obsessed, the Elara they pity. I stare at the pen, Eleanor's note blurring through tears. "Don't let them bury yours." But what if I'm wrong? What if I'm the chaos they say I am? The rain batters the estate, a relentless drum that mirrors the storm in my head. I'm losing ground, drowning in doubt. Serafina's not just winning, she's erasing me, piece by piece. I want to give up, to pack my things and disappear, but Eleanor's words anchor me, a lifeline in the dark. She trusted me with this. I can't let her down, not yet. I drag myself back to the attic, the only place that feels like it's mine. The brandy-soaked journals are ruined, their pages stuck together like a wound that won't heal. I transcribe what I can, my hands shaking, every creak of the house making me jump. I'm paranoid, and I hate it. I'm starting to hate myself. Then my phone pings, a notification from Etheria Designs' social media. Serafina's posted a video, radiant in her Boston office, announcing a new scholarship in her name. The comments are a flood of worship. Visionary. You're changing lives. I scroll, my chest tight, and see a reply from Chloe's account. Inspiring as always, Sarah. Keep shining. My stomach drops. Chloe's not just doubting me, she's cheering for my sister. The betrayal cuts deeper than I expect, a knife twisting in an old scar. I text her, my fingers trembling. You're working with her now? Her reply is quick, defensive. It's not like that. I'm just networking. You're taking this too personally. I slam the phone down, tears burning, and bury my face in my hands. The attic's shadows close in, and for the first time, I wonder if they're right. Maybe I'm chasing a delusion. Maybe I'm the chaos Serafina says I am. I don't leave the attic for hours, curled up beside the cabinet, Eleanor's pen in my fist. The rain is relentless, and so is the storm in my head. I'm alone, outmatched, my one ally turned traitor. I'm ready to quit, to let Serafina win. But then I see it, a faint sketch on the cabinet's underside, Eleanor's initials carved beside a tiny hidden panel. I pry it open, my breath catching. Inside is a single sheet, a contract fragment, her signature bold and clear, dated before Serafina's birth. It's not much, but it's hers, untouched by brandy or lies. It's a reminder. She hid things for a reason, she trusted me. That spark keeps me going. I can't fight Serafina alone, not without proof that sticks. I dig through my laptop, searching for anything tied to Eleanor's work. An old article mentions her attorney, Jacob Cohen, a semi-retired lawyer in Boston. It's a long shot, but it's all I've got. I grab the pen, the key, and my scans of the blueprints, then drive through the rain to his office, a cramped storefront wedged between a deli and a laundromat. Cohen's in his 60s, wiry, with sharp eyes behind bifocals. His desk is a mess of legal pads and coffee mugs. Miss Vance, he says, barely looking up, I don't do family disputes anymore. I slide the pen and key across his desk, my voice steady despite the knot in my chest. This isn't about family, it's about Elara Vance. His hands pause and he meets my gaze. I show him the blueprints, the curriculum, the note. His expression shifts. Curiosity, then recognition, then something like grief. He leans back, rubbing his jaw. Your grandmother was a force, brilliant, stubborn. She came to me years ago, worried her work would be stolen. He unlocks a safe, pulling out a yellowed document. Eleanor's original will. It names me as the heir to her intellectual property, every sketch, every idea. My throat tightens. She chose me even then. But Cohen's not done. He produces another will, dated weeks before her death, leaving everything to Serafina. Your father brought this to me, he says, claimed Eleanor changed her mind. I didn't buy it. The signature's too perfect, like it was traced. I stare at the forged will, my pulse hammering. This isn't just theft, it's a crime, a betrayal that runs deeper than I imagined. My father, the man who avoids conflict, helped bury Eleanor's legacy. Cohen leans forward, his voice low. If you're serious, we can fight this, but it's ugly, and it's public. You ready for that? I nod, gripping the pen like a lifeline. For the first time, I'm not alone. Cohen's gruff kindness, his belief in Eleanor, shields me from the storm. I'm still broken, but I'm not defeated. The rain doesn't let up as I drive back to Blackwood Harbor, the forged will burning a hole in my passenger seat. Cohen's words echo in my head. We can fight this. For the first time, I feel a flicker of something solid, something I can stand on. But the estate feels like a trap now, every shadow hiding a lie. I slip inside, avoiding the kitchen where my mother's planning another gala for Serafina, her voice bright and oblivious. My father's study door is closed, as always. I don't confront them, not yet. I need to be smart, not reckless. In my room, I hide the documents in a locked box under the bed, the fountain pen tucked in my pocket like a talisman. My laptop hums as I start organizing what I have. Scans of Eleanor's blueprints, the curriculum, the contract fragment, Cohen's will. It's not enough to topple Serafina's empire, but it's a start. I'm not just fighting for Eleanor now, I'm fighting for myself, for the right to exist outside their shadow. The thought steadies me, even as my hands shake. Cohen connects me with Lena, a cybersecurity investigator with a no-nonsense vibe and a laptop that looks like it could hack a bank. We meet in a Boston diner, rain streaking the windows, the air thick with coffee and grease. Lena's already dug into Etherea's digital footprint, and what she shows me makes my blood run cold. Serafina didn't just steal Eleanor's ideas, she erased her. University archives, obscure architectural databases, even my own college projects based on Eleanor's style. Gone, scrubbed by a dark web contractor. Lena slides her tablet across the table, showing encrypted emails tied to Serafina's team. This wasn't an accident, she says, her voice flat. It was surgical. Then the gut punch. Lena uncovers messages between Serafina and Chloe. My so-called friend has been feeding my sister every move I've made, every photo I sent, every doubt I shared. Chloe's not just a traitor, she's a cog in Serafina's machine, keeping her one step ahead. My stomach churns and I grip the edge of the table, the diner's fluorescent lights buzzing like my thoughts. I want to scream, to break something, but Lena's steady gaze holds me together. You've got the evidence now, she says. Use it. Back at the estate, I lock myself in my room, Lena's files open on my laptop. The scope of Serafina's plan is staggering. She didn't just steal Eleanor's work, she rewrote history, erasing us both to build her myth. I'm at my lowest, betrayed by my friend, my father, my sister. The world feels rigged against me, but Lena's words stick. Use it. I start drafting a plan, my hands steady for the first time in weeks. I'm not a tech mogul or an influencer. I'm an architectural historian, and I'll fight with what I know: precision, history, and the truth of Eleanor's work. The estate is a pressure cooker now, every glance from my family laced with suspicion. My mother sighs when I pass, her eyes heavy with disappointment. My father avoids me, his brandy glass a constant prop. I keep my head down, my laptop hidden, my heart pounding. I'm building something, piece by piece, but I'm not ready to show it yet. Lena's evidence is my shield, Cohen's belief my anchor. I'm not just fighting for Eleanor anymore, I'm fighting for the Elara I might still become. Days blur into nights as I hole up in my room, building an online exhibition. The Unseen Foundations, the architectural legacy of Elara Vance. It's not a takedown, not a screaming accusation. It's a love letter to my grandmother, high-resolution scans of her blueprints, excerpts from her surviving journals, photos of her sketches, all time-stamped and verified. Every click is a defiance of the family's narrative, every word, a reclaiming of her legacy. Lena secures the site against hacks, her emails curt but reassuring, no one's touching this. Cohen lines up a list of tech journalists, art historians, and architectural critics to receive the link. Even Chloe, desperate to save her career, flips on Serafina and agrees to share it. I don't trust her, but I'll use her. The Boston Tech Innovators Gala is coming, a glittering event where Serafina's set to deliver the keynote. I won't be there. I'm in a coffee shop across town. My laptop open, my stomach in knots. Cohen's process server is ready, a cease and desist letter paired with a federal copyright infringement notice tucked in his briefcase. Lena is on standby, monitoring Etherea's digital defenses. At 7:55 p.m., the server slips backstage and hands Serafina the papers. I imagine her face, that perfect mask cracking, but I don't have time to savor it. At 8 p.m. sharp, I hit publish. The exhibition goes live and the curated list gets the link. My phone buzzes. Lena's text. It's out. Brace yourself. I refresh the site, watching the visitor count climb, hundreds then thousands. Social media erupts, hashtags like Elara Vance and Etherea Truth trending. I check the gala's livestream. Serafina's on stage, her smile tight, her voice faltering as the audience's phones glow with my sight. They're not listening to her. They're reading Eleanor's words, seeing her designs. A journalist tweets a blueprint captioning it, "Is Etherea a fraud?" The auditorium hums with whispers, a scandal unfolding in real time. Serafina stumbles over her speech, her charm crumbling. For the first time, she's not in control. And I'm not invisible. I lean back, my hands trembling. It's not victory, not yet, but it's power, mine, Eleanor's, ours. The coffee shop's chatter fades, and I feel her with me, her steady hand on my shoulder. I've built something true, and no one can bury it now. But the high doesn't last. My phone lights up with a voicemail from my mother. "Elara, what have you done? We're a family." Her voice cracks, but it's not love, it's panic. I delete it. Family doesn't forge wills, family doesn't erase you. Back at the estate, my father tries to corner me in the foyer, his face gray, his voice low. "We can fix this, Elara. Let's talk." I brush past him, my heart cold. He's not my ally, he's part of the lie. My mother's worse, her eyes red from crying, her words sharp. "You've ruined us. For what? Some old papers?" I don't answer. I pack my things, the fountain pen tucked in my pocket, and leave for a cheap motel in Boston. I need space to breathe, to think. The fallout is a hurricane. By morning, Etherea's investors freeze funding, and the media descends like vultures. Headlines scream, "Tech darling's empire built on stolen legacy." Serafina's team scrambles, issuing vague statements about inspiration and oversights, but the evidence is ironclad. My site crashes twice from traffic, but Lena keeps it running. I stay holed up in the motel, ignoring calls from my mother. Her voicemail's a mix of guilt and venom. I delete them all. I'm done carrying their weight. Cohen calls with an offer from Serafina's lawyers, $5 million for my silence, an NDA to bury the truth. I meet him at his office, the check sitting on his desk like a bribe from a stranger. "It's a lot of money," he says, his tone neutral, "but it's your call." I pick up the check, my fingers steady, and tear it in half. "I don't want their hush money," I say. "I want my grandmother's name back." Cohen nods, a flicker of pride in his eyes. Then we go to court. The lawsuit is a 6-month marathon, a grueling slog of depositions, headlines, and late-night doubts. Serafina fights dirty, her team painting me as a jealous, unstable sister. Some believe them. I'm not a saint, and my past isn't spotless. The media digs up my museum layoff, my college dropout scare, every crack in my armor. But Eleanor's work speaks louder than their lies. The blueprints, the curriculum, the forged will, they're undeniable. Lena's digital evidence seals it, tracing Serafina's erasure to her inner circle. Chloe testifies against her, her career in tatters, her apologies hollow. I don't forgive her. I don't need to. The courtroom is a battlefield, every day a test of my resolve. I sit through Serafina's testimony, her voice steady, her eyes avoiding mine. She's still beautiful, still poised, but the cracks are there. Her hands fidget, her smile doesn't reach her eyes. My parents don't show up, I don't expect them to. Some bridges are better burned. In the end, we win. The court awards me substantial damages for intellectual property theft and fraud. Enough to change my life. Serafina's empire doesn't collapse. Etherea limps on under new management, but her reputation is ashes. She retreats from the spotlight, her social media silent. I don't gloat. It's not about her anymore. It's about Eleanor, about the truth I fought for. I use the money to start the Elara Vance Foundation for Architectural Integrity, a nonprofit to support young, unrecognized designers. It's not about me. It's about the ones like Eleanor, whose brilliance was buried. The foundation's launch is quiet, held in a small Boston gallery, but the room is packed with architects, students, and historians. I give a short speech, my voice steady, the fountain pen in my pocket like a talisman. "This is for those who build in silence," I say. "Your work matters. You matter." The applause is warm, real, and for the first time I feel seen, not as the black sheep but as Elara Vance, whole. The Boston air feels different now, lighter, like the city's finally letting me breathe. I've rented a small studio in a converted warehouse, a space I designed myself with high windows that catch the morning sun. The walls are lined with sketches. Eleanor's, mine, and new ones from the fellows at the Elara Vance Foundation. My drafting table is a mess of plans for a community center project, lines and angles that feel like a promise. The fountain pen sits beside me, its weight a quiet reminder of where I've been. I don't look back at Blackwood Harbor, at the family who tried to break me. I don't need their approval anymore, but the scars linger. Late at night when the city quiets, the doubts creep in. Serafina's voice calling me chaos. My mother's sighs heavy with disappointment. Chloe's betrayal sharp as a blade. I'm not healed, not completely. Some wounds don't close, they just scab over, tender to the touch. I keep busy to outrun them, pouring myself into the foundation. We've funded 3 young architects already, their designs bold and raw, the kind Eleanor would have loved. Every email from them, every thank you note, feels like a brick in a new foundation, one I'm building for myself. Lena checks in sometimes, her text short but warm. "Site's still up, you good?" I'm not always good, but I'm getting there. Cohen sends me updates on the legal fallout. Serafina's team is still scrambling, but Etherea's a shell of what it was. I don't follow the headlines anymore. They don't matter. What matters is the work, the sketches, the plans, the dream of a world where no one's brilliance gets buried. One morning I get an email from a professor at MIT, Dr. Liling Nguyen, who saw my exhibition. She wants to collaborate, to archive Eleanor's work in their architectural library. It's a small thing, but it feels huge, a piece of Eleanor's legacy preserved, not just for me, but for the world. I meet Lila at a campus cafe, her enthusiasm infectious as she flips through my scans of Eleanor's blueprints. She was ahead of her time, Lila says, her eyes bright, and so are you. I don't know how to take the compliment, so I just nod, my throat tight. For the first time, I feel like I might belong somewhere. But the past doesn't let go easily. I'm sketching one evening when my phone buzzes. A number I don't recognize. It's my father, his voice softer than I've ever heard. Elara, can we talk? Just you and me. I hesitate, my finger hovering over the end call button. Part of me wants to hear him out, to believe he might apologize, but the memory of his brandy-soaked accident stops me cold. I don't think so, I say, and hang up. The silence that follows is heavy, but it's mine. I choose it. The community center project keeps me grounded. It's a small building, nothing flashy, but it's for a neighborhood that's been overlooked too long. I walk the site sometimes, imagining the kids who'll play there, the families who'll gather. It's not just a building, it's a statement, a way of saying I'm here. I sketch late into the night, the pen moving like an extension of my hand, Eleanor's strength flowing through me. I'm not her, but I'm carrying her forward, one line at a time. The Foundation's first big event is a showcase for our fellows, held in a gritty art gallery on Boston's South Side. The space is packed, students, architects, locals curious about the buzz. I'm nervous, my palms sweaty as I adjust the displays, Eleanor's blueprints framed beside the fellows' work. My speech is short, just a few words about building in silence, about the power of unseen foundations. The crowd claps, their faces warm, and I feel it. Eleanor's presence, steady and proud. I'm not invisible anymore. I'm Elara Vance, and I'm enough. Afterward, a young architect named Maya approaches me, her eyes bright with ideas. She's one of our fellows, her project a modular housing design for low-income families. I wouldn't be here without you, she says, gripping my hand. You made me believe I could do this. I smile, my chest tight, and for a moment, I see myself in her, the girl who thought she'd never be enough. I tell her to keep going, to trust her plans. It's the advice I wish I'd heard, the advice Eleanor gave me in her note. The city hums outside, horns honking, gulls crying over the harbor. I step onto the gallery's balcony, the breeze carrying the salt of the sea. Boston feels alive, full of possibility, and for the first time I feel part of it. I'm not healed, not entirely. Some scars run too deep, but I'm building, one true foundation at a time. The fountain pen is in my pocket, a quiet companion. Eleanor's with me in every line I draw, every dream I chase. I don't hear from Serafina, and I don't expect to. Her social media stays dark, her empire a fading echo. My parents are ghosts now, their calls unanswered, their letters unopened. I don't hate them, but I don't need them either. The family I've built, Lena, Cohen, Maya, the fellows, is enough. They're not blood, but they're real, and they see me. The community center breaks ground next month. I visit the site one last time before construction, walking the empty lot with my sketchbook in hand. The wind tugs at my hair, and I close my eyes, letting the moment sink in. This is mine, my work, my vision, my future. I'm not the outcast anymore. I'm the architect of my own story, and it's enough. I head back to my studio, the city alive around me. The warehouse is quiet, the sun slanting through the windows, painting my sketches in gold. I sit at my drafting table, picking up the fountain pen. A new project waits, a library this time, a place for stories like mine, like Eleanor's. I start to draw, the lines steady, the future open. I'm not running anymore. I'm building, and I'm home. Thank you for joining me on this journey. My story is a testament to the fact that you do not have to accept the role your family gives you. If you've ever been called the black sheep, the failure, or the problem, remember this. Their judgment is a cage, not a mirror. Your worth is not determined by their inability to see it. Have the courage to find your own truth, build your own foundations, and become the architect of a life that is truly yours. Don't let anyone else hold the pen to your story.